Marhaban, Ana Jasmine Joey Alfonso Minmas. Hello, I am Jasmine Joy Sembrano Alfonso from the country of Egypt. Officially, Egypt is known as the Arab Republic of Egypt. The term Egypt comes from the Greek word Aegyptos, which means the Temple of the Ka of Pita. It is found on the African continent, specifically in the northeastern section. Cairo is both the country's largest and capital city. Egypt's official language is Arabic, and Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is the president of the unitary semi-presidential republic. Let us now discover more about Egypt in terms of economic growth, poverty and equality or social progress, population growth, human capital, and lastly, agricultural and rural development. Let us now start from the economic growth. Egypt's economy was rising at an exceptional rate at the start of 2020. According to official World Bank estimates, Egypt's gross domestic product or GDP was approximately $363.10 billion in 2020, accounting for 0.32% of the global economy. Remittances, on the other hand, grew to $8,054.30 million in the second quarter of 2021, up from $7,849.60 million in the first. These remittances are generated through migrant inflows and what are known as employee income transfers or personal remittances. Egypt's tourism income climbed by $2.7 billion to $12.57 billion in the 2018 to 2019 fiscal year, up from $9.8 billion in the previous fiscal year. In the second quarter of 2021, Egypt had a current deficit of $6,134.80 million. Egypt's annual inflation rate fell to 5.6% in November 2021, down from 6.3% in October and below market expectations of 6.2%. It was the lowest number since July. Food and non-alcoholic beverages prices have slowed the greatest, 8.1% versus 11.5% in October. Consumer prices increased 0.1% on a monthly basis, following a 1.5% increase the previous month. On Friday, December 10, the Egyptian pound was trading at 15.66. Let us now discover more about Egypt in terms of poverty and equality or the social progress. The Egyptian Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics calculates poverty and equality or what we call the CAPMAS. CAPMAS compiles a national data set. Every 2 years, the HEX conducts a representative household survey and releases national and regional poverty statistics following each round of the study. Poverty is measured based on a household-specific poverty line. There are two important factors to be considered. First, household composition and hence caloric requirements, and second, regional variance in cost and calorie and non-food expenditures allowances. According to CAPMAS, 80.6% of people who live in families with 10 or more members are poor. Subsequently, Egypt's poverty rate has dropped to its lowest level in more than 2 decades. They also define Egyptians as impoverished if they are unable to meet their minimal fundamental demands for oneself or a family. Egypt's poverty rate dropped to 29.7% in the 2019 to 2020 fiscal year, down from 32.5% in 2017 to 2018. According to the agency, education levels are the most important indicator of poverty, as poverty rates decrease as people's levels of education rise. In 2019 to 2020, 35.6% of Egyptians without a formal education were impoverished, compared to 9.4% of university graduates. They also highlighted that there is a relationship between a growing family size and financial insecurity. one of the most important to develop this problem is the National Project for the Development of Egyptian Rural Villages. To continue the discovery about the country of Egypt, let us now go on to their population growth. According to the Worldometer's elaboration of the most recent United Nations data, Egypt's current population is 105,238,977 as of Tuesday, December 14, 2021. Egypt's population accounts for 1.31% of the global population, and it is ranked 14 in terms of population among countries, including dependent territories. Egypt has a population density of 103 persons per square kilometer. Urbanization accounts for 43% of the population, equivalent to 44,041,052 people in 2020. Egypt's median age is 24.6 years. Egypt's population is young with over 60% of the population under the age of 30. On the other hand, population is expected to quadruple by 2078. The population is growing at a rate of 1.94% per year, which means that around 2 million people are added to the population each year. Egypt's fertility rate is at 3.3 births per woman, for a higher than the population replacement rate of 2.1 births per woman. The life expectancy in 2019 is 71.99 years, which is higher compared to 70.35 in 2010. The Egyptian economy is strengthened by the country's fast-rising population, with one-third of the population living in poverty and a 10% unemployment rate. Let us now proceed with the human capital. People are said to be a country's cornerstone and most valuable asset because they can be both productive and innovative at the same time. Egypt has a larger population than any other country, with 105 million people as of December 2021. Without a doubt, the COVID-19 epidemic has had a significant impact on this country, posing hazards and risks to its economic and human capital gains. The World Bank published the Egypt Human Capital Fact Sheet, which claimed that Egypt's human capital development is centered on and focused on the following areas. First is in the social protection, second is in the health, and third is for education. They want to help Takaful and Karama in terms of the Solidarity and Dignity Cash Transfer Program for social protection. It is accomplished by providing disadvantaged families as well as the elderly, crippled, widows, and orphans with conditional cash transfer in exchange for meeting a certain criteria. They also implemented the Forza Opportunity Initiatives, which provide self-employment and a source of income. In terms of health, Egypt intends to enhance the healthcare system by improving services and infrastructure, encouraging better nutrition among health workers, promoting family planning, and implementing hepatitis C and non-communicable diseases screening campaigns. Finally, they favor education that prepares children for life rather than only focus on assessment in public schools. They improve educational quality, stimulate the use of digital technology in teaching pupils, and improve educators' abilities. At this juncture, let us now discover more about the agricultural and rural development of Egypt. Egypt's agricultural sector is the major issue of the country. It can't deny the fact that its contribution to the GDP is continuously decreasing. Fortunately, rural development and agriculture have seen a potential in reducing poverty, maintaining food security, and also demands in labor. Because of the effect of overall economic conditions as well as development and investment initiatives, agriculture sector growth rates have varied greatly from one decade to the next. Subsequently, there are lots of challenges that agriculture and rural development are facing, such as scarcity, shortage in water supply, impoverished to small-scale farmers, conculated local administration structure and centralization, as well as drop in government spending in agriculture, fragmented land holdings, and environmental problems. Fortunately, during the forecast period, the Egyptian agriculture market is expected to increase at 3.2% in 2020-2025. Agriculture is an important part of Egypt's economy. It supports about 55% of the population, the majority of whom live in rural areas. The agriculture sector contributes roughly 11% of the country's gross domestic product or the GDP.